What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for the first match reaction of this season. It's a preseason game. Um, we did the watch long on this channel. I don't know if a lot of people watch the game, so that's why I'm doing a reaction just to recap what kind of happened slash didn't happen in our first preseason game against Milan. It ended in a draw. We won on pens in the end, but like the actual game was a 2-2 draw. And there are some takeaways. There are some takeaways always. Some good ones, some bad ones, some maybe worrying ones, some encouraging ones. So we will go over that as well. Before I do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into it. Okay, so like I said, 2-2, first preseason game, because the previous one against Barcelona didn't happen. So it was kind of looking forward to what we could put on the pitch. Started off with some bad news because Rovella is injured, went back to Italy, or is going back to Italy to assess what he has. It's a muscle thing, so he's going to be missing a couple of weeks, which is not good because I want to see him. We all wanted to see him, and that's going to kind of mess with his potentially showing off and getting into that team basically moving forward, especially early on this season. But it is what it is. We needed to do with him. Without him, Pogba still out, Vlahovic still out. Milik was out, but he played, so that's surprising. But the starting lineup was kind of what's gonna be the first 11. Maybe not Weston McKennie. Probably Rabiot gonna slot in that position. Maybe not Cambiaso's not gonna play. It's gonna be Kostic or whoever. But other than that, it felt like it's gonna be the starting 11. Keane, Vlahovic. Who knows if everybody stays? We played against a Milan team, especially in the first half, who already played preseason games, who kind of started with their full 11. Maybe in midfield there could be a change, but they kind of started off with their potentially full starting 11, which was a good thing to have. You know, you play against a good, strong Milan side. I'm talking Serie A terms here because again, the next one against Real Madrid could be peak. You know, because they are looking very, very good. It could be a very different reality, but we need to assess, or we need to do a reality check and see where we are. You know, team, the club, where it is at this moment in time. So first preseason game, 2-2. Takeaways, especially from that first half, because that was kind of the meaningful part of the game, is that it's going to be back three. I think that's obvious now. It's going to be the back three. With the back three we played last season, Danilo, Bremer, Gatti. We can see the two goals, very avoidable goals. I will say that. Like the first one, not easy to defend, but like he got a lot of time to hit that ball in. That's all I'm saying. Like Gatti and Bremer were off completely. The second one is just Miretti not sprinting back fast enough to put Giroud offside. Like these things shouldn't happen when the season actually kick off, when you're fully focused. But other than that, in the first half, we didn't give away anything, which was encouraging. We looked dangerous moving forward a little bit. Like there were some good combinations between, especially Miretti and Chiesa. I thought Keane was a little bit off with his first touch. Now also that link up with Chiesa wasn't excellent, wasn't brilliant. Chiesa looked better in a 3-5-2 than Keane, which is maybe surprising. Chiesa looked actually very eager. He looked very determined. He looked fresh. He looked fit. He kind of looked like the old Chiesa a little bit, which is a good sign because I'm hoping he stays. Everybody is kind of assuming that he's gonna stay now. Now we this late in the transfer window, so that's a good thing, I guess. Cambiaso, I was looking forward to see him play, but I don't think we asked much of him in today's game, which is maybe a bit of a disappointing. He didn't play poorly. He wasn't bad. He was just okay. Also because he wasn't that involved in the game, but he didn't mess up. He didn't mess up or anything. It wasn't like glaring where you're like, oh boy, that doesn't look good at all. So let's see. The surprise that was that he didn't play on the right. That was being mentioned all summer and actually before kickoff as well that he's going to be tested on the right. Nico Shira, excuse me, Mirko Di Natale with the news also kind of suggested that maybe on the right, but he played on the left. He is, in my opinion, a natural left back, but he can play on the right as well. But if he plays left back and you're in for Carlos Augusto, then him or Junior or Alexandro or whoever is gonna leave. But interesting that he didn't play on the right at all. It was Timothy Weah who played on the right, and I'm I'm surprised with Timothy Weah because I knew what he could offer. He's like like he can play. The kid can play. Like he's good in possession, whatever. He's very inconsistent. That's maybe his issue. He's lightning fast. Like he's really fast. You can put a cross in. Maybe in the first 10 minutes he was a bit bullied. He needed to kind of get into it. But other than that, I thought he brought something. Something that Colado struggled to bring last season. He gets past people. He gets that ball in quickly and good enough. I'm just a little bit disappointed. Not at him, but I don't think we asked him to do much, in possession, because I think he can skip by players. I think he can link up play better, but we didn't really ask him to do that today, which is a bit not worrying, but a bit disappointing, like I said, and maybe a bit worrying because it feels like it's going to be like last season, get that ball to Wea or Kostic and get that ball into the box, which I'm not a big fan of. I think nobody's a big fan of. But I was actually pleasantly surprised with Timothy Weah. So I think that was that was a good first showing for Timothy Weah in that first half. Other than that, Mikani played. He wasn't good. Locatelli played. He wasn't good. It's preseason, but he wasn't good. It felt like the old Locatelli. I don't like him in that position, but he makes stupid fouls. He makes weird decisions, and like if Ravela's fit, maybe Cassie comes in. If Allegri will maybe free him up from that DM position, but he himself needs to do better as well. Like if we criticize Vlahovic for doing better, for needing to do better, even though we kind of agree that Allegri plays part of it. Same for Locatelli as well. But then you also need to say Locatelli needs to do a bit better in possession. He has too many ups and downs within games. I don't get it, but that's what it is. Preseason, but it also happened last season, so that's why I'm kind of worried about that. Second half, we made a lot of subs. We brought in a lot of youngsters. Milan did the same thing. They brought in, maybe not youngsters, Milan. They brought in youngsters, but they also brought in players that kind of were in and around the first team as well. But we brought out the entire under 23s and loan players. So that second half was kind of, boring, for both sides. Like Pinsolio made a good save, needed to make a good save. Other than that, we didn't create anything. What I did like, because I was looking forward to see Yildiz play, and he wasn't that much involved because he played as a midfielder, like has been reported the last couple of days. I thought he was good in possession. I think Nonge played. He was off pace, but that's normal. It's the first time. It's normal. The guy that I was like, okay, you can play is Huijsen, because he looks very calm. He looks at place, if you know what I mean. And if you didn't watch that game, I'm not saying go watch that game because it's kind of pointless, but watch the last 5 minutes of Huijsen, and you can see there's a player in that, because he is extremely calm in the box. Like he flicked that ball and skipped by a player where you're like, oh boy, if you mess that up, it looked comical, and Milan scored there. But he is extremely good in possession. He needs to bulk up a little bit, which I think we already knew, and he said that a couple of months ago that he needs to bulk up a little bit, but he looks extremely promising moving forward for the future of the club, center back wise. So interesting to see what he's going to do. I think he's going to play for the under 23s, but maybe during the season he will get a sniff in and around the team if injuries occur and all those things. Bonucci out, the winter potentially leaving, and he didn't play. So it's very, very interesting. And let me see the winter, because I woke up very late, so he was in the squad the winter, but he didn't play. He preferred Huijsen, and he didn't disappoint Huijsen. I like what he offered. I really do. I really um, liked what he offered. So that's um, that's um, that's good. That's promising, for us. But other than that, no injuries, which is a positive. Get those minutes in, first preseason game of the season. Conclusion: I'm not gonna say nothing changed. I'm not gonna say a lot changed the last season. It looked a bit more. How do you want to say that? With an idea behind it, but not extremely. Like, I'm grasping at straws here. Um, let's see. Next week we play Real Madrid, and then it's maybe potentially another preseason game in Italy, but that hasn't been confirmed. And then it's up to Udinese with a lot of question marks still. Is Kessie coming in? Are we gonna get it right back or left back? Is Vlahovic leaving? Is Chiesa leaving? Things that need to be resolved really quickly. But that's it for this match reaction. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will be back live later tonight to discuss the latest news. So, see ya.